How can we trust a book that's written so long ago?
Yeah, a couple of things is that we trust a lot of books that are written long ago. A lot of books that were written long ago tell you a lot of different things, and a lot of ancient wisdom is included in many of these books. Not nearly millennia ago, but you look at a document like the Constitution of the United States, we trust that and still interpret it. We have amendments to it, but we ultimately believe in the Bill of Rights. And so we trust a lot of books that are ancient and that are written a long time ago. But specifically with the Bible, there's something about it. There's this phrase that Leslie Newbigin talked about when he talked about the beauty and the power of the Bible. He said that Christ himself is our eternal contemporary. That's a beautiful phrase. What he means by that is saying our eternal contemporary is that it is eternal and that it's ancient, but it's always applicable now. So if you were to write a book centuries ago in a culture very different than this culture, and it's somehow still applied to the issues you're dealing with now, there's something remarkable about that kind of a book. Now, we can talk about its archaeological evidence that when this book was written, it seems to remarkably verify the very things that were out there in the geography of ancient Israel and the ancient places outside of Israel as well. You see that every so often, the archaeologists will put a shovel into the ground, turn it over, and some relic or some artifact actually proves what the Bible's been saying all along. In fact, one archaeologist said that the first thing we do when we want to find out where we should dig for something, the first document we reference isn't someone else, it's the Bible. The Bible this is a secular guy talking, and he's saying that when we look at the Bible, this becomes the manual, this becomes the guide for us to know where things are in ancient Israel or in the ancient Middle East. So we see its remarkable archaeological relevance. We also see that it has remarkable scientific relevance. I'll give you an example of what I mean by this. When you look at Hebrews chapter 1, you see that the Bible is Hebrews chapter 11. Strike that, chapter 1. You see that the Bible actually talks about the way in which how God is, it talks about faith. Faith is the evidence, the substance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Okay? Faith is the conviction of things not seen. So it already tells you that there is something about the world that is unseen, something invisible. And it doesn't just mean that, there's like this spirit realm as well, although it means that. But that you go a few verses later and the Bible begins to talk about the way in which the world was created, that you can see that the world that's around you, the physical world around you, is actually created by that which is unseen. And it had a finite point in the past. It actually began in the past. Now, this is why this is remarkable, is because the Bible, as an ancient book, actually said centuries and centuries ago that the universe had a beginning. But scientists, up until fairly recently, with like Einstein and Hubble and all these guys who were upstarts and troublemakers, they basically said, hey, the world had a beginning. But before that, the scientists were saying that the universe didn't have a beginning. It was called the steady state theory of the universe. The universe always existed. It was eternal past and it'll be eternal future. It just always existed. But Einstein and Hubble and several others theorized, and then was proven true, that the universe had a beginning and a finite point in the past, which means all matter, energy, space, and time began to exist. All the things that you can see and measure, all the visible things began at a point in the past: matter, energy, space, and time. So if the thing that creates matter created it, it can't be material because matter can't create itself, things can't create themselves, that's ridiculous. The thing that creates all the energy of the universe has to be of a different kind of energy and have more power than the collective power in the universe itself. And the thing that creates all of space has to be a spaceless being because space can't create itself. And the thing that creates time has to be timeless because time can't create itself. That's philosophically ridiculous. So what does an immaterial, enormously powerful, spaceless, and timeless being sound like? Sounds a lot like God. And the Bible has been saying that in Hebrews, that the invisible is what created the visible. Genesis as well. Robert Jastrow pointed out that it's as if scientists have scaled the mountain of knowledge to find a bunch of theologians sitting at the summit for centuries. And they're saying, hey, when did you boys arrive here? This kind of thing. So that's so those are two reasons, history and science, we can trust the Bible. But the other part is the eternal contemporariness. The Bible has a way of speaking to our contemporary issues in a way that no other book seems to be doing. When you look at the issues we're dealing with now, when you look at the issues of racial equality, when you look at the issues of gender equality between men and women, you see these issues are looming large, very large in our culture today. And oftentimes the Bible is being blamed for these things. But the reality is when you study the scriptures, you begin to see that the Bible is actually the cure for the very things it's being blamed for. If I were to say the Bible is inherently racist and inherently sexist, but then I see in John chapter 4 that John takes a non-Jewish woman, not a Jew and not a man, and makes her the hero of the story so much that she becomes the first cross-cultural missionary, how can the Bible be this inherently racist and sexist book when a non-Jewish person who's a woman becomes the hero of the story and convinces an entire village to believe in this Jewish man? It's remarkable stuff, remarkable stuff.